In ancient Israel, during a time marked by idolatry and corruption, there lived a man named Hosea. He was a prophet chosen by God, a solitary voice crying out amid his people's moral decay. With eyes shining with fervor and a heart full of anguish, Hosea dedicated his nights to prayer, seeking the will of God. One morning, as he walked along the hill that overlooked the city, an unusual sensation overcame him. A gentle yet firm voice echoed in his heart. "Go and take for yourself an unfaithful woman." He hesitated, confused and troubled. How could a man of God, a prophet, unite with someone who had lived a life of promiscuity? But God's determination was unwavering. He wanted Hosea to experience firsthand the pain of betrayal, the same pain he felt when his people strayed from the covenant. Not knowing what awaited him, Hosea followed the calling. The streets of the city were alive with activity, but also with despair. Hosea walked through the alleys, searching for the woman whom the Lord had destined for him. After much searching, his eyes found Gomer, a woman of exotic beauty. Her hair flowed like a river of ebony, and her skin glistened under the sun. However, there was a sadness in her eyes that revealed a painful story. Gomer had known love in a distorted way. Her life had been marked by fleeting relationships, and she had become a parody of what she truly desired: acceptance and genuine love. Hosea approached her with a heart full of compassion. He invited her to come with him, saying, "Come, Gomer, I want to give you a new life." Surprised and skeptical, Gomer hesitated, but the sincerity in Hosea's voice touched her. Over time, she realized that he was unlike other men. He saw beyond her past, recognizing the worthy woman she could become. The marriage of Hosea and Gomer was an act of faith and hope. In a small ceremony beneath the fruit-laden trees that blossomed around them, they sealed their union with sincere vows. Hosea promised to love Gomer, even if her past was a constant shadow, and she, in turn, promised to be faithful, moved by the love blossoming in her heart. In the months that followed, the couple's life was a mixture of joy and challenges. Hosea dedicated himself to his ministry, proclaiming God's word. Gomer, now part of the prophet's life, began to feel a new hope blossoming within her. She struggled to leave her past behind and build a future alongside Hosea. However, the temptations of her former life did not easily fade away. Hosea, busy with his prophetic duties, was unaware of the internal battle Gomer faced. Old acquaintances and the allure of nightlife often beckoned her. She remembered the promises she had made, but the shadow of doubt loomed large. One night, while Hosea was away, Gomer received an invitation from an old friend. "Come on, Gomer. Life is too short to hold back. You can enjoy the pleasures of the city again." The idea of returning to her old life awakened a desire she thought she had overcome. Fighting against this temptation was a painful challenge, but the loneliness and insecurity were powerful. In a moment of weakness, Gomer gave in. She left the house, dressed in her finest clothes, a symbol of the life she had left behind. When Hosea returned home, he found the house empty. Gomer's absence echoed in his heart like a deep lament. Desperate, he began searching for her. Hosea wandered the dark streets for hours, asking anyone he encountered, "Have you seen Gomer?" The pain of her betrayal consumed him, but he did not give up. The city was filled with bright lights, but to him, everything felt dark. Finally, in a marketplace, he found her, at the mercy of men who saw her as an object of desire, not as the beloved woman she truly was. His heart shattered at the sight of her, lost, far from the love he offered. He approached her, and with a trembling voice filled with pain and love, said, "Gomer, I love you. You don't have to live like this. Come back home with me." Gomer froze, tears streaming down her face. The pain of her betrayal consumed her, but Hosea's genuine concern awakened something inside her. In a gesture of vulnerability, she threw herself into his arms, and he embraced her tightly. In the days that followed, Gomer faced the harsh reality of her choices. Hosea did not blame her, but his heart was wounded. He continued to show her love and compassion, explaining that just as God had forgiven Israel, he would forgive her too. "You are not just the woman you were. You are the woman you can be." Over time, Gomer began to heal. Hosea became her support, showing her the true meaning of love. They spent hours talking about their dreams and hopes, rediscovering the beauty of sincere love. Gomer started to see herself through Hosea's eyes and realized that her past did not define her. One day, while walking together under the sunset, Gomer said to Hosea, "You've taught me to believe in myself. I want to be the woman you see in me." He smiled, knowing that their love had overcome the storms. Hosea continued his ministry, using their story as a testimony of God's faithfulness. He spoke to the people of Israel about grace and restoration, urging them to turn back to the Lord, who is always ready to forgive. As the years passed, Hosea and Gomer's lives became a powerful testament to redemptive love. They had children who brought joy and hope into their lives. Each laugh, each step their children took, was a reminder that God's grace had transformed them. Hosea continued to be a respected prophet, and Gomer, now a transformed woman, became a source of encouragement for other women facing similar challenges. Together, they showed that true love can overcome even the deepest wounds. The story of Hosea and Gomer became a symbol in Israel's history. They reminded the people that God was always ready to forgive and restore, no matter how far someone had strayed. Their lives were a testimony that even in the shadows of infidelity, love and grace can shine brightly, bringing healing and hope. And so, amid pain and betrayal, true love triumphed, demonstrating that faith, forgiveness, and redemption are possible. The people of Israel, hearing the story of Hosea and Gomer, were reminded that no matter how far one may wander, love can always bring them back home.